Hi again, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. As a reminder, I'm Chuck Donnelly, spearheading the Compassion Forward movement. And we thought it would be worthwhile taking a few minutes to discuss common values. What are they? And why are they so incredibly important in creating space for dialogue, especially in these fractured, polarized times? In fact, we are planning community conversation workshops in our local libraries and community centers to help bring our communities together in dialogue about common values. So first, before we get started, please like this video, visit our website, compassionforward.org, sign up for our mailing list. We won't spam you, I promise. It'll be very low amount of traffic in your email box. We're not asking for money. We won't share your email address either. We just want to keep you informed and help give us all a path forward out of these problems that we're in. And as we know, the internet algorithms love this engagement, so your clicks help spread the word. They don't cost you anything, and they help promote our movement. Okay, so on with the program. We often hear our political leaders say, there's nothing that, or there's more that binds us than divides us. And I think it's fair to say that it's often true. And there's so many values that hold us together. And if we can uncover those values, and in some cases, maybe even discover those values, before we start having policy discussions, we can turn those policy debates from shouting matches to constructive discourse. Think about that if you could do that in your family over the holidays. I know that I can be influenced by your argument if I believe that we have common values and that are driving our thinking. So I'll quickly share a personal experience. I had a business, and my business partner and I are very dear friends. And she's conservative, and while I truly hate these labels, I'm generally considered liberal. And early in our getting to know each other, we'd occasionally start arguing politics. What was confusing to me was that we were building our business with incredible unity. So there was something we really did have common values. We never really talked about it. But we were able to make all of these business decisions that impacted our employees, etc., together with unity. I mean, there was no very little daylight between us. So one day we decided to discuss common values rather than just argue politics. It turned out that we're very much aligned. And after listing out some of our values, we found it way more productive to discuss politics because we could talk about the policy choices that we're promoting and know that they were, aiming those conversations at advancing our values. It was incredibly eye-opening for me, and she actually influenced my political positions on several votes, and I expect the same that I influenced her. So the question is, how do we define common values in a way that distinguishes them from legislative political actions? There's a lot of gray area here. I'll do our best to work this out. We won't get it. We won't be perfect at it. But core values, I would say, are the moral building blocks that define us as members of our community. I know that's still pretty vague. We'll try to give an example. For example, I will say, do you believe in rule of law? Rule of law being the common value. Okay. Most people would say yes. Some people might not agree with that. But if we agree with that, then we know that when we're having a conversation about a legal issue, we can frame it around rule of law. Now we can take the conversation one step further. Do you believe that no one is above the law? Most people would say yes. If the answer to both of these core value questions is yes, we do believe in rule of law, and we do believe that no one is above the law, then we can start to have debate about current actions in our politics. This is very, relevant now. Asking the question, is that legal? Now, in the end, we may not agree. We may have different ideas of whether that action is legal or not. In fact, people debate whether things are legal all the time. But we now have a framework for our conversation that is less personal, and we start to have the debate about that makes it a question about the legality of something and that no one is above the rule of law. So a political argument that could have been a shouting match actually ends up being kind of an interesting question about rule of law. So, as I mentioned earlier, Compassion Forward will be hosting community conversation workshops aimed at discovering our common values in hopes of strengthening our civic thinking and learning to have those difficult conversations. This process, we hope, can help heal family divisions and can spread to our like minded friends. So we're hoping that people at the workshop will take this lesson home with them and to their friends. So, again, thank you for listening. Please check out our website, compassionforward.org, and click like and forward and share, etc., to help those internet algorithms work for us and not just working for people that are espousing or hateful rhetoric. We want to get our message forward on the internet. So, again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.